all your St. Louis Cardinals gear on. St. Louis Fitness Club. Fitting these nuts in my mouth.
This sounds so German to me. I don't know why.
It always does. You mention it every time.
But doesn't it?
It does.
Like, my name is...
Too hot.
Der Schnauzels.
My again, props to my good friend and cousin Tim Damos for giving us this royalty-free music.
If his name was Sir Tim Damos,
Yeah,
it would be STD.
STD.
Welcome to Slash U!
That brings us to another episode of Slash U. Hello, everybody.
We're back to the original.
It's fitting because it's episode 140.
What made you fall in love with Nick and Andy? Was it candy? I don't know why you look so cute. Boop, boop, doop. Hey, but seriously, we've been doing so much. I'm only going to mention Murder Cabin once. We've been dealing with that. We did a
The
fun bracket.
Yeah, the bracket's not Slash U canon. That's why I didn't count those, under regular episode numbers. So we're back to episode 139. You heard last week was behind the scenes Murder Cabin. Absolutely had a blast up there filming. The people were great. It was fun to be on a legitimate movie set. I definitely caught something. So I'm contractually obligated to be sick twice a year on mic, and here's that one of those times.
The kid who played Buddy got strep throat. Then, I think he got it to his wife. People.
Nice.
I feel like Sid, who plays the mom, she was kind of getting a little.
I thought she was saying she was over it or on the tail end of something. So
I don't know, but I'm glad it was just with ticks, mosquitoes, rain. I mean, being off the grid, it was definitely something I've never experienced.
Yeah.
And the intensity. It was, people think, oh, you're up in the Northwoods, and I know I've mentioned this, vacationing. We're not vacationing. We were fucking working. I mean, it was nice to have those decompressing moments, like sitting in the actual cabin and just laughing. But
it was fantastic, man. And I can't thank you enough for asking me to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's cool. But
what's going on there?
Nothing. I just want to get to the.
But we're back.
We're back. So the moment everyone's been waiting for, the conjoined twins.
Oh, they answered some questions?
The lady that's married, but the conjoined twin isn't. So the lady that's married, yes, she does have sex with her husband. She goes down on him.
Ooh.
So these are their answers. I'm not shaming.
Okay.
These are questions people want to know. I'm so glad they're open.
I know.
So she goes down on him.
Hard-hitting
So
news.
does her sister. But maybe she doesn't put the knob in her mouth. Oh, wouldn't it be kind of kinky if he was like, hey, let your sister.
I don't. Yeah, no, keep going.
Okay. My sister and I orgasm as one.
Oh.
But when I sleep with my husband, she's usually reading a book or listening to a true crime podcast, so she puts the pleasure out of her mind. Why wouldn't she let her sister enjoy it?
I just wonder, so her sister feels the orgasm too, is that what you're saying?
They both do, yes.
So she's feeling the orgasm while she's listening to a true crime podcast?
Yeah, oh.
Aren't you wiring your brain a little weirdly? Next time you're watching fucking one of the movies that we cover, you're like, ooh, I'm turned on by this.
I think it's going to be weird.
I think you're messing with powers you shouldn't be messing with.
It's like getting a boner, like if you saw someone like get mutilatedly killed on a film. Mutilatedly? Is that a word?
Just a horrible. Yeah, you're like turned on by the violence.
So like if she's listening to horrible murders that have happened across this great land, and she's having an orgasm, things are going kind of hinky.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm futzing with your microphone.
But I thought it would be fun just to share before we get into this movie. You know what? I'm glad we're kind of getting back to this. I've missed watching some films. We really didn't have to watch much when we were doing the bracket because...
Well, we'd already watched them all.
Obvi.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be cool, as Andy did, to kind of go back to our...
What? Like our roots?
Our roots.
We went back into the 80s.
Our routes. Is it routes?
Roots.
My microphone is all...
I know, I'm...
Beep, 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 beep.
I'm fucking with your mic. I don't know.
Why?
Keep
Why did
talking.
you decide to start fucking with it?
Well, we fucked with it when we recorded Old Flossie for your movie, and I never really set it back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You
so...
wanna take a break? I don't
No, it's fine.
Anyway.
Yeah.
From 1982, 1 hour, 27 minutes.
Fanatic, the last horror film. Parentheses.
2 names.
Yes. Turn you up. All right.
Thanks.
Yeah. How's that? You don't know how loud you are till you talk, friend.
I know. I got a Frank over there. Wait, who's our producer that sits across the?
Yeah, I think it's Frank, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that what you call him?
Frank.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah. Why don't you get these mics? I sound fine. I feel good.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So this movie, to find it, we really didn't, we were looking up the last horror film and we couldn't find it. So Andy, through his powerful /U detective deductions,
Oh yeah.
Dictions,
Deducted.
found out that it actually goes by
Fanatic.
Trauma released it as Fanatic. Two great names for it, I think.
Yeah.
The last horror film, I thought, I mean, they really do make calls to this name throughout the movie, but it's from 1982. It's 1 hour, 27 minutes. Andy, I like it. I don't know,
Yeah.
like, what's the deal? Like, I never heard of this. I thought this would be a popular trauma film. It's actually kind of a cool story. And some interesting facts that I found out, too. I have a new thing instead of, like, fake fact news. It's fun facts I found.
Fun facts I found. I'm still fuck. We might have to pause, man.
Yeah, let's pause.
Yeah,
'Cause
sorry. I think we're good now.
Yeah,
Sorry about that,
just
man.
give the audience, the students, a little repercussion. Is that the right word?
What, recap?
Recap. A recap. We had to use my mic to do some recording, some
For Murder
production for Murder Cabin.
Cabin. Yeah, and
A
that
voiceover work.
That man sounds totally different from you.
Yes.
And
I wanted his voice to definitely
Yeah.
come out a little bit more.
so we futzed with the settings and just never put it back, but that's my fault.
So to get back with this trauma film, I thought fun facts I found.
Yeah,
The name of the movie that our starlet is in is called Scream.
right. The movie within this movie.
Yes, the movie with this movie that she's starring in is called Scream.
Yeah.
And there's a movie being showed at the Cannes Festival called Stab.
Oh,
Stab was the movie that was in Scream.
within
that
Scream that
Yes.
we know.
Yeah.
Do your yeah, that's like a fucking Inception, right?
Dude.
Like.
Oh, man.
Like it was so within this movie is a movie called Scream, and another movie within this movie that they're watching is called Stab. And then when we later, 30 years later, watched Scream, starring Nev Campbell and company,
Yeah.
they later made a movie called Stab about Scream.
I just thought it would. I mean,
Blah.
it is kind of interesting though. Like Scream. I mean, I'm not saying it's a diabolical title. Like, oh my
No.
god. Like, or a pragmatic where you're like, woo.
Yeah,
But it's still like when you see Stab up there and Scream, you're kind of like, hey, I got a lot of love the references they do bring out, like, Vinny's a taxi driver, and
Yeah.
that's the movie that John Hinckley saw Jodie Foster in. There's a lot
and
of
that's why he went and killed or
Come
tried to
up,
kill
it's-
Ronald Reagan. Yep, taxi driver. There's Bates. There's
Oh, yeah.
Bret Bates and Jana Bates in this movie are characters. Obviously
Yeah.
not to Norman Bates. I mean.
that's
There's
a
probably
good call.
More. There's probably more that we didn't catch.
This movie is like if a new trauma director was really into making montages and liked boobs. Oh, and also wanted to make a horror film.
You're not wrong on the boob part.
Yeah, I just made
It's
this
like
up.
they said, let's set this in France during Cannes Film Festival so we can show all the ladies topless on the beach. Like, let's just do it as an excuse.
Is two things. Is it cans or cons? It's cons.
I don't know. I those can.
Can.
Well, my
Speaking
nasally,
of cans,
Yeah.
hey, boobs, you
my,
get it?
my nasally Wisconsin accent wants to call it cans.
Cons. Mm-hmm. Let's just fuck.
The Cannes Film Festival.
Con. Yeah.
Cannes! Star Trek.
But I want to go and say this
James
movie.
Caan. Oh, sorry.
This movie, 40% is montage,
Oh, yeah. Lots of montages.
and 20% of those montages, boobs.
I agree. And if you don't feel like skipping ahead 30 seconds every, the little skip ahead 30, watch the boobs.
Boobs, boobs, boobs of the jungle.
Some decent music.
Yes, that's exactly what I bring up too. And I Shazammed a lot of it.
Good soundtrack.
I Shazammed a lot of it, and unfortunately, Andy, I could not find.
There's one about being on the edge or something. I forget the name of the song. It's like walking on the edge.
Yeah, this is kind of like an opening, like if you mind.
Yeah.
It's just a dream.
Yes, we're just getting into that synth heavy 80s, baby.
Yeah, this is
You're on your way, Vinny Durand.
Vinny Durand. This seriously, it's a good call. This movie is like when disco was kind of getting out of the format of was kind of maybe dying.
Yeah.
But they were still trying to keep it alive because of cocaine.
I have Cliff Kill notes.
Oh, you do?
I absolutely do.
Oh,
we're gonna spoil the whole movie.
Can you believe I almost forgot that it's time to get into Andy's Cliff Kill Notes Oats, brought to you by Nub Nubs. If you want a fun way to call a baby's pacifier, grab a Nub Nub. I didn't write it down. I didn't know what to do.
That's okay.
And now, Andy's Cliff Kill Notes.
All right, the Cliff Kill notes. Brief summary of the movie.
Nub Nubs? What the fuck was I thinking?
So you can follow along. We're going to spoil the whole thing. This one available on a lot of free platforms. I watched it on Tubi. It's on Freevee Plex. You can rent or buy on Amazon, I imagine. But directed by David Winters.
Who plays in this movie?
He is. Oh. Jana Bates is the hot scream queen of Hollywood, starring in the best horror films. She's at Cannes Film Festival in France, hyping up her latest project called Scream. But Vinny Durand, a creepy wannabe horror director who's obsessed with Jana, is also at Cannes. Vinny's convinced he's got the perfect movie and Jana would be the perfect star. He just has to get to her. But other people in the movie industry around Jana start to disappear, killed under mysterious circumstances. Has Vinny's obsession gone too far? He said no one would stand in his way of making his movie, but is he capable of killing? We'll find out today on Slash U.
Welcome back, Mr. Damos.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
With a vengeance. Thank you.
I like that. Even with that nasally Wisconsin twang you got going on.
We're going to call it seasonal allergies.
Seasonal allergies.
The pollen is crazy sick up here. Like, it's all over.
Dude, you just see it. North Carolina, this pollen is nothing. North Carolina, everything turns green this time of month.
Wow.
Everything.
Well,
like, I'm talking like a lime green. Like when someone has zested a lime over your car.
yeah. Well, it's no joke. And thankfully, I'm not sniffling and coughing here on the podcast. I just sound congested. So I'll be okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
But,
we'll just jump right into the opening. Boobs.
We know Vinny, played by Joe Spinell from
Maniac.
back when we had our dear
There was
friend.
a lot of people involved in this. In fact, Jana Bates
Yeah.
was the photographer in Maniac who he fell in love with.
There you go.
So, and writers.
I think they
on this-
refer to him in this movie as a maniac at some point.
Her
There's some
boy-
maniac
her
coming
boy-
after
Her
me.
boyfriend in this movie, Alan, is the writer of this film.
Okay.
The director who plays Stanley Klein is actually the director of this film.
David Winters.
Yes, he plays Stanley Klein.
Sweet. How come you didn't star in Murder Cabin? You directed.
I starred in the
You should
mop.
just been in it.
I didn't star in it, but I was a quick bit in it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it would have been, there's no other story of people.
Yeah, I suppose.
If someone would have donated over like 1,500, we were going to ride them in, they would have been your neighbor pulling out.
Oh, wow.
Hi,
Oh.
Robert, have a good time with the kids.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, because everyone doesn't know your true facade.
Yeah.
Your true character. God, I don't feel like I'm on point today.
It's okay. It's been a little while since we've done a legit episode.
But we did the bracket, but that was more like we could talk the bracket, and then we could measure each other's boobs.
We
and
were just
compare
goofing
boobs.
around in the bracket. Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
this
open
is open scene where
boobies right away. Bubes.
She's in a jacuzzi. She's doing yoga or water aerobics. It's great, Andy.
They're fake.
Yes.
I mean, they exist, so they're real. But I mean, it's not like unicorn. But
Yes.
you know, that was Jimmy Kimmel long ago said, if they exist, they're real.
If I could touch them, they're real.
Yeah, but these are very obviously not natural bubes.
But it's just kind of a setup of a kill. A killer has cut a wire and shocks her, killing our lovely, enhanced-breasted water aerobic model in the jacuzzi.
Yeah,
She's dead.
Loose wire.
But what is it, Andy? It's just
It's
a movie.
a movie.
It's a movie.
I didn't count this as a kill in
I
the
didn't
cliff
either.
in the kill count.
We meet Vinny, who's watching the movie, and can I just say that his face looks like something you would cook bar food on? I mean, his face is just absolutely like he looks like a.
He's rough.
Yeah, he makes Luigi look like a GQ model.
Luigi, like from the Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Vinny is not a beautiful man.
No, and it's okay to say it. If you saw Maniac, you know that.
He's good as a creep. He's really good as like a stereotypical greasy looking creeper. The people sitting around him in the theater even say like, this creep. Like, did he have his pants unzipped? Or
I thought I swear to God,
Was
Andy,
he
the
doing a
first watch,
Pee Wee
the first
Herman?
watch, I thought he was fucking
Yeah.
whacking it.
I didn't-
to a horror movie.
Because he's all sweaty.
Yes, and
he's
he's
really excited.
yeah, and it looks like he's like doing something with his pants.
And it does look like he's doing something with his pants. And the people behind him, they're like, let's go. He's a creep. You know, it's like, oh, that's not the type of theater for that. You could just put a DVD in
This
at
is
home,
1981.
friend.
This is horror movies are coming out. People were going.
Yeah.
Did people clap though? I don't remember people clapping
At the end of horror movies? I don't know. Well,
you know those nerds that fucking clap when the plane lands?
yeah.
God, those people are.
Listen, I only clap if there was trouble. Like if there was a question that it might not land and it lands, and I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah, but if it's just
a routine landing.
if it's a nice flight from Boise to Chicago, you know, okay.
It's all routine, no problem.
Yeah.
Why are you clapping?
I don't know. But
Yeah.
we're gonna start diving into
That's our cold open.
our Vinny's character. He has flashbacks of wanting to be a director. He has an obsession with the screen queen that Andy mentioned, Jana Bates. And
He lives in his imagination.
yes,
Yeah.
very good call. Where he is a famous, big time movie director in Hollywood.
I observed it's almost like he has two personalities in his head: a loser deadbeat who hates himself,
Him,
a sweaty guy who can't get it together. Yeah, him. And then this other suave, clean-cut director type who can do no wrong.
wears an ascot, a cape,
Yeah.
smokes a cigarette.
It's
out of a
also
stem.
him, but
yes.
all cleaned up, looking great, you know, super talented. And the two of them face off in Vinny's own
That's
mind.
fucking beautiful.
Thank you.
You're exactly right. And so this kind of happens throughout the movie. These flashbacks, kind of the wizard of cinematic arts. He is called out as this his true calling. And so what his plan is to stop driving the taxi. He's a taxi driver, and head to the French Riviera, Cannes Festival. Cannes Festival.
The Can Festival.
God damn it.
Which would totally be a beer type thing here in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, come on down to the Can Festival.
It also sounds like it'd be like an adult video, like, hey, we're having a Cannes Festival for big boobs.
For big boo.
You know?
Come to the Can Festival. Well, not necessarily big. Cans of all sizes.
Yeah.
We honor thy cans. Yeah, his friends tell him to stop dreaming, Vinny. I liked his mom. Vinny's mom was a cool character. She's like, Vinny, I got some baked macaroni.
I know. Vinny's mom was great.
She's cute.
Here you go, listen.
Cute old lady.
Can Festival.
Can.
Okay, so do you have Google say it for you?
Yeah.
Someday AI will just tell us what to say instead of how to say it.
All right. Let's stay on topic, homie.
Yeah.
So
That is thought crime, Nick. No,
Cannes Festival. His mom was like, "Why are you going out there, Vinny?" Ooh, but I love the taxi stand too because it was so much like when he's like, "Guys, I'm leaving. I'm going to Cannes Festival. I'm going to become a famous director." Like, and it was totally us. Hey, Vinny, what are you doing? Come on, man. We making the pizza.
hey.
And we driving the taxis. You're a nerd because you like the Jana Bates.
Yeah, when are you going to make your movie, Vinny? They're picking on him.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
And then he finally gets home to talk to his mom, like Andy said. And I love this trope, too, of the packing. Everybody that packs, they don't take time. They just grab all these clothes, throw it, and go. I don't say I'm a meticulous packer, but I make sure things are folded. I like.
I count. Like, I'll open the suitcase and I'll count my underwear. Like, here, this is for tomorrow, Thursday, Friday,
Not
Saturday.
people in films. People in films, they just
throw them all in.
throw it all in.
I just need a handful of shirts, a handful of pants, and I'm good.
Because I'm going to make a movie with
Right.
Jana.
I got to make a movie with Jana Bates.
And he is literally off to France. It's a quick cut to France. And let me just say this. Boobs!
There's
When they cut
so much
Did you catch
topless.
the one where the kid's taking the photo of the boobs?
Yeah, there's like a little kid right next to this lady who's topless on the beach. This little toddler.
They don't think it's bad. They sit there and go, it's weird that you Americans really love the violence, but you don't care about the human body. They're just the boobs.
I mean, if guys can walk around topless, why can't the
I
ladies?
think that's what makes boobs so fascinating because as a kid we're taught that they're naughty. Like,
the mystique behind them. Yeah.
And so like if they were always out, it'd be like boobs.
Be like, whatever, right? It's just you and I could go to the beach, walk around in our swim trunks, no shirts. But the ladies can't do that. It's frowned upon.
They look just like ours, except they're just little more fat.
They're fatty, they're bigger. because they're meant for feeding young humans.
There are men out there with bigger boobs. Yes,
That's true. There are men with large moobs.
and they
call them
show their
moobs.
boobs.
Man boobs. All right.
welcome
not to get off topic.
welcome to Boob You.
Boob you. But do you think France still does that today? Could I go to France right now and
Yes.
find a topless beach? Okay.
Oh, French Riviera, totally, dude.
Hell yeah. Well, and remember, just file that away for possible vacation.
Coming to you live /you French Riviera.
Vinny met that fun American cowboy guy with his American flag Corvette and his cowboy hat. And he's like,
Women
I need
love-
a drinking, buddy. These ladies always come in twos.
I love American
And they love
cowboys.
American cowboys.
And
What a
Tex-
scary stereotype.
Yeah, Tex is a fun character. We see him kind of throughout the film as we go on.
Is that his name?
Tex?
He was casted as Tex.
Tex.
He's probably looking for a quarter pounder.
Yep.
They call it a Royale with cheese in France.
Yes. And they serve it with snails and cigarettes.
Mmm.
He gets to his room in the French Riviera, and I just love that he sets up his room he brought photos so he could plaster his beautiful hotel room with photos
Yeah.
of
Jana.
Jenna. But then we just fast cut to a jury that's watching a film that supposedly Jenna is in.
I
guess it's
also like.
Scream.
I did also like the radio.
The radio sets up
Yeah, the news like mentioning like historical references, like actual things.
that were happening in 1981.
Attempted assassination on the
Ronald-
Pope.
Ronald Reagan.
John Hinckley shooting Ronald Reagan, which is a huge parallel to this movie.
Yep.
John Hinckley saw the movie Taxi Driver, obsessed with Jodie Foster, tried to kill the president. And now we have a man who's obsessed with Jana Bates,
Who drives a taxi?
who drives a taxi and is, might go on a killing spree here.
Yeah, this movie, to me, again, as we spoil it, the last 10 minutes had me going, what the fuck? So I
yeah,
know we're going to get there, but
Some plot holes too, but
yeah. But the jury, the Cannes jury is watching a horror film, which I'm guessing is the movie Scream.
Yeah.
Where Jana is in, and they clap. Her last scene is her face melting off,
some dude hitting her with a blowtorch in the face. Yeah.
and that's the end of the movie. They
Yeah.
clap and they
The end.
Yeah, I mean,
She
seriously.
was burned horribly. The end.
Like, even the movie they go see, the Stanley Klein movie, that they go see.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's called like Night Stalker or something.
Yeah, and it's fucking. I know art is film and film is art. It's all
Yeah.
the beauty of the beholder. Blah blah blah. Well, again, like I was sitting there going,
The end.
the end. Ah!
Yeah.
So they're like,
Yes.
brilliant,
Brilliant.
which is kind of a big
She's
deal.
great.
Because to have a Best Actress in a horror film, I still don't know if there's been a nomination for. I don't want to say that now, but an Oscar going to
Yeah.
anyone in horror.
No, that's a good point.
Maybe
I mean,
Jordan Peele. Like I know people are listening.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 of you are going, well, so and so was nominated for.
when you're
fucking-"
talking like Academy Awards, I don't know that that's ever happened. A Best Actor or Best Actress in a horror film has ever won. I mean, because I know like comedy isn't taken seriously, which is just weird to say. I know comedy is not supposed to be taken seriously. It's comedy, but you don't see comedies winning awards very often. It's usually always the dramas and the hard-hitting subject matter that wins the awards.
Kathy Bates in Misery received a Best Lead Actress award. Also, Jaws did well for Best Sound, Editing, Original Score.
Okay.
Silence of the Lamb got a number of Oscars as well.
Okay.
And Silence of the Lamb got the Best Pick, Best Actor, Actress, and Director. I don't know if I would consider, though, Silence of the Lambs is a horror
Suspense
thriller.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something like The Exorcist or The Shining,
Yeah.
where movies were
Yeah.
movies and
I'd consider
men
Misery.
were men. I'm just kidding. Was
Misery's right up there.
that- Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a Stephen King,
Yeah, and they
flick.
call Jaws a horror movie, but okay, I suppose we've
Yeah.
we've covered shark movies here at /you.
Yeah, Doll Shark. Never forget.
Not even close to Jaws.
I know, God.
Jaws is so much better.
It is, it is.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
But Miss Bates arrives to France.
Yes.
Jenna with her hot new boy toy, Alan. Everyone loves her. Vinny is filming this too. Like this is kind of making me go, oh, this is kind of interesting. Like he's gonna make a snuff film where he actually kills her. No sound, but I do have to jump to a radio comes back, Andy, and it's Roving Rona, and it's just like they actually play real news clips, I think, from the time, but then they just fast cut to this Roving Rona, and she's like, I'm Roving Rona, and I'm here with all the hot, juicy gossip here in France.
Right.
Like, I think they would have like
a real.
I just thought Roving Rona. Roving Rona. I mean, she's just kind of what they use her for is kind of like we're using Old Flossie. Well,
they're just setting up the story that Jana Bates is dating her director, Alan Cunningham, Alan Smart Pig. Just kidding, Alan Cunningham, and her
Cunningham Smart Pig.
Her ex-husband.
I just got it.
Her ex-husband is Bret Bates, is the producer. So Bret Bates is the producer on the movie. Alan Cunningham is the director.
It was a love triangle.
It was a love triangle.
She was married to Bret Bates.
She was married to Bret. Now she's with Alan. And those two guys, obviously producer and director, work fairly closely. So it's an awkward love triangle. And that is the basis of Roving Rona's report.
She's like, sparks are going to fly at the party that Bret's hosting because it's a big soiree for the Cannes Festival tonight.
It's the type of bullshit that we who follow Hollywood would absolutely cling to. Like, oh my God. We gotta watch what's gonna happen.
It is amazing to me. Like people follow that Hollywood, and people follow like the fucking Duchess of York, or like the royal family.
The royal family.
I don't fucking get it.
Yep, don't get it either.
I don't get like why. I don't.
There are so many more things to pay attention to that are more important in the world that you're just gonna make your life about what the Kardashians are doing.
I know.
Like, come on.
I'm really happy for Taylor Swift. I'm glad she's found her success, and I think she's great. Mm-hmm. But it's so weird that people like Taylor Swift went shopping just like us.
Just like us.
They have shit that people say like. They have sections in like magazines where look, celebrities are just like us.
Just like us.
They go shopping.
They poop.
They walk their dogs. They poop.
They poop.
I mean, it's people. It's weird how that's what that's becoming. National Enquirer used to be like all about fake shit, like Bat Boy and stuff.
Yeah,
it realized that it could make more off, Hollywood gossip.
Yeah,
I want to say the same thing about People Magazine going into true crime. Like true crime is blowing up. That's to be our new format in 2025. Who's going true crime. But anyway, I digress. I'm starting to go off on a tangent.
People would be so obsessed with this love triangle.
But they're at a party that Bret is throwing.
We get glimpses. He's a womanizer, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of cocaine, which I assume. Wouldn't you?
Probably quite a bit of cocaine. There's a brief talk between a director named Stanley Klein.
Yep.
And I think he's an agent, Marty Bernstein.
That's exactly right.
He's an agent. Those two talking to each other about how much of a pain in the ass Bret is. They're just jealous of his success.
Yeah.
Boy, things we could do so much if Bret wasn't around.
We're setting up the premises of the characters.
And also Marty or Stanley or the other way around, like, I got a bunch of dirt on you, so nobody's friends.
Hollywood is a cutthroat business.
Cutthroat business. No, they might act like your friend, but they'll turn on you quick.
Yeah, I know.
For the price of a ham sandwich.
Out for a price of a vegan ham sandwich. When Murder Cabin makes it big,
a smart ham sandwich.
I'm gonna become a dick.
A Cunningham sandwich. When Murder Cabin. No, don't forget the little people.
No,
when Murder Cabin becomes a success.
I'll be like, I made Murder Cabin.
Do you know who I am? I made Murder Cabin. Damn it.
Slash you,
sir.
And I co-host Slash you. You fuck.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the part. Andy set it up perfectly. We're getting to meet the players of Hollywood, and Vinny, as Andy again brought up at the very beginning of the podcast, he does live in his own world within his mind. He talks to himself and fades in and out of reality, juxtaposing himself against a well-known, becoming a well-known successful director.
The guy's a maniac.
Yes. Hey, how long were you waiting to say that?
Oh, I've had that holstered for a while now. I'd say about 29 minutes and 15 seconds.
He couldn't get into this party. We forgot. Like, remember he was trying to get into the party. Vinny was, and they were like, "No, you can't get in." So he somehow figures out, like, if I put on my director outfit and not my fucking grandma pants and fucking
dress up
steel shirt,
right.
He dresses up, puts a camera in front of his face, and walks in.
They allow the camera in there?
That
I
would be
mean-
yeah. I mean, I guess it's Hollywood or it's.
I guess,
it's
but-
it's a film festival.
Yeah, but you're gonna videotape everybody
Doing cocaine.
doing
and
cocaine.
off, each other's boobs and penises.
Right. Oh Lord. So he gets in. I don't know. That was it. Like a
Yeah.
montage dancing and backstabbing. And
Yeah.
The next day, Vinny calls Bret Bates's room trying to get Jana. How he got the number, we don't know. The phone rings. Bret picks it up, and Vinny's like, "I need to speak with Jana. I got a movie that should be perfect." And Bret's like, "I produce all their movies. I'm not talking to anybody unless it comes from an agent. It's a total failure."
So with Bret acting that way towards Vinny, much like a lot of horror movies, when you set up pictures of people and they start Xing them out and start throwing them out.
That was creative in this movie.
Yeah, that they're going to die. So old film strips, each photo, each
Each frame,
frame,
you see the person.
and they're cut like
Somebody's
they're
like a
scratched
scalpel.
out.
Yeah, somebody's taking like a scalpel,
So
which is how they used to edit film.
Yep.
They would cut it with a scalpel and tape it together on an old school machine because everything used to be on reels.
Real quick, I just want to say that I actually got to play with that when I was a sophomore in high school. MTV had a contest to make a video for Vogue, the music video, or to make a music video Vogue by Madonna.
Oh, cool.
So we got all my friends in high school. We got we filmed on Super 8. So I actually had to go to a community college in St. Louis, Forest Park Community College, and actually
You got to cut the film
cut
and
the film, tape it. It wasn't a scalpel. It was actually a thing you could it was high tech. You could see it, and then it was on a screen, and you'd roll it, and clink, and you cut it.
so you could see exactly where you're cutting.
Yep. It's pretty
That's
cool.
pretty neat.
So this is our way of saying that Bret might be dying.
Yeah,
He dies.
I don't know. Really, all they do is somebody sends some flowers
There
to
you go.
Jana.
Thank you.
The flowers to Jana has a note that says, "You've made your last horror film. Goodbye." And then a messenger delivers a bottle of booze to Bret with the same note. "You've made your last horror film. Goodbye." And he's like, "What is this? Some kind of threat?" And while he's shaving, he gets jumped.
Yeah, he gets jumped.
And then Jana comes to his room later,
because she's supposed to have a meeting with him.
to talk about the
director.
project,
Yep.
and finds him dead in his bathroom, decapitated. Like his head
head's
falls
in the
off.
sink.
And somebody's filming it. When
Yeah.
Jana discovers it, he's in the bathroom on the toilet and his head falls off. She screams. Somebody's there video with the recorder, the camera. I can't say the words, Andy. And she runs out. She catches a glimpse of this person as she's running out. And we cut to
I love when she's running. She's like, "Can anybody hear me?"
Can anybody hear me?
Like
Yeah.
when we talk about there's no one ever around.
no one in the hotel.
Yeah.
who can hear her.
And there's hotels, when you cut to hotels, Andy,
Yeah.
throughout this movie, they're packed.
Giant.
It's fucking Cannes
It's a
Festival.
Cannes Film Festival. All the hotels are probably sold out. But we also have a brief scene with Stanley Klein, the director, and Alan Cunningham scheming to make a movie and cutting Bret out of it. I want nothing to do with Bret Bates in this movie at all, is what Stanley Klein is saying. You direct, Alan, and I'll produce. No Bret. But when Alan gets back to his hotel, the cops are all there. And Jana's freaking out. He's dead. But the cops are like, "No one has found the body.
Is this a joke?
Yes, this is a joke. There's nobody there."
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu.
Yeah.
Mon ami.
Yeah.
Our French is good.
Sacre bleu. I think it's good too.
Yes, I'm Pepe Le Pew.
Yes, and I'd like to talk.
I like a cheeseburger.
And it's champagne.
Is it champagne?
I go to chateaus.
Yes. See.
And I watch the naked ladies dance
Oh.
through a hole in the wall.
Oh, nice. There's a place in France where you can watch that. Yeah. Oh Lord. So
Yeah, it is. It's everyone
Yeah.
thinks that she's just, maybe it's a publicity stunt, maybe she's
Right.
overreacting.
Alan's
you know.
a jokester. Not Alan. Bret is a jokester. He's done shit like this before. It's probably publicity stunt.
Later that night, it's a beach scene of boobs. Within this 5 minutes of bouncing melons and splashing around. In my opinion, Andy, it's just to show that
Vinny's an
Vinny's
incel.
psychological discomfort with women
He
to justify his kills.
First of all, it's three gorgeous women frolicking in the water.
Yeah.
One of them's naked, the other two are just topless.
Yep.
And then Vinny walks up and picks up some of their clothes.
Smells it.
That's on the beach.
Smells-
Smells it like a
like
weirdo.
pantyhose.
And then a fourth woman comes up and wraps her arms topless, and she's like, "Hey, big boy," totally flirting with him, but then just pushes him away. "Oh, you creep!" but making fun of him.
There
like,
went my boner.
You're nothing. Like, yeah, like missed opportunity. Were they goofing with him the whole time? Like what? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I the second watch, I just kind of looked at it like he's
awkward
around women, and
I would probably be awkward too around 4 gorgeously attractive topless women on a beach at night.
I would politely ask for consensual splashing
Be like,
around them.
may I join you?
May I splash water too?
Also take off my clothes.
It is cold water, mind you.
I don't think that would make a difference.
My penis looks so.
I don't think it would make a difference in that scenario.
Oh, okay. But
you'd be so turned on, man.
So the next morning, a plane with a message, that you can tie a banner behind a plane so it can fly along beaches with a message. Jana, you've made your last horror film, Jana. I love you. I started thinking, how does he get this money?
Where did Vinny afford that?
That's when I started thinking, is Vinny okay? He's in a nice hotel in France, a plane ticket, able to afford a message like that to fly in France when there's a fucking festival going on and everyone's doing it. That is not probably.
Maybe his taxi business is a little more than a taxi business. Maybe it's taxi and hand job business.
So Vinny gives you a ride
extra,
and then he wipes the grease from his face and uses that as a lubricant to.
And he can charge every fare an extra $20.
Going to hell.
And he's been saving up, and that's how he afforded the sign behind the plane.
Montage. Vinny films Jenna wherever she goes.
Fast forward.
Phone line. Vinny wants a piece of Marty who's in the. It's weird they have phone booths there and you have to wait in line to make a call.
Probably for international calls.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Hey, good call.
I see what you did
there. Vinny approaches Marty because he's an agent about one of his actresses, Lily.
I got a pod for Lily. I got a film. She'd be great.
We learn a lot about Lily, but we never meet her. She is not in this movie.
Correct.
And so I really don't get this scene. I don't know if he's just trying to make connections, Vinny is, because his ultimate goal is to be a film director, so he's doing whatever he can to make connections with other Hollywood players.
I think he's just doing some networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he calls his mama.
He calls mom.
He calls it, crack me up, Andy, because every time she makes fun of me, he just cries.
Well, he's like, Mom, would you please just listen to me, Mom? I'm doing good things here. They love us. We're doing. He's lying to her.
Yeah, of course.
Nothing's happening.
But I love it. She's like, no, you're not. You're not gonna be a director. Like, Mom,
Vinny, you're such a treat. Mom, will you please just listen to me?
He's crying.
Come home, Vinny. I made more baked macaroni. Yeah.
Now I want baked macaroni.
Me too, man. Baked macaroni sounds good.
We get to another montage, and it's a song called "Gone Too Far." And I tried to Shazam this, Andy. I tried to Shazam a lot of songs on here.
Yeah.
Nutchin'. I didn't get anything. Shazam, my Shazam blew up.
So they're just random. They're not famous songs. Your Shazam's like, I don't recognize this. It's
when
not
we get
popular
to
enough.
Jenna's bathing scene, I have one more I want to play, but
okay.
So then,
it's the next day. Marty.
The Hollywood folk like
Marty Bernstein,
Stanley Klein, they go to the French police. They try to get help, but they laugh at them and they say, "This is Hollywood. We have the better things to do than France, like eat snails and smoke filterless cigarettes."
Right. The cops are just like,
yes,
it's probably a stunt because they're saying how nobody has seen Bret. He's missing. We don't know what's happening, but the police are like, it's Hollywood. It's all fake. Jana was the only one to see anything. It's probably not true. It's a joke. So we have other things to worry about, like traffic, and they send them on their way. So the cops ain't going to do anything.
They're not. Yeah, I mean,
that's it.
So it's.
But we get another shot of the film, the physical film with Marty.
Yes, getting scratched
and somebody scratching it out with the scalpel. So Marty maybe is our next victim.
That's exactly it, because the next day he relaxes on the Riviera with many topless women, and he's called to meet Bret.
Yeah, he gets a note.
Bates.
That says, like, I want to talk to you about Lily Mars in the movie.
Yeah, you're one of your actresses. You're an
Come
agent.
alone.
Come alone.
Bret, and Marty's all like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's alive, the bastard.
I thought he was alive. He's fucking with us.
So he goes to the theater to wheel and deal with who he thinks he's going to meet as Bret Bates. But no, Andy. He is, instead, he's met with an axe to the back.
Yeah.
Some good blood work there, I thought, too.
Marty's
when the blood
dead.
was coming up and, like, the axe kept going.
Yeah.
Now that I'm going to become a famous... I'm just kidding. Like,
is it Vinny killing him? Because Vinny was there in the building. Vinny
I don't
was
know.
like upstairs season
There's
go
a
into the
fedora.
theater.
Someone's wearing a fedora, and Vinny wears a fedora when he dresses up as a fake director.
Fucking hell, Vinny.
So this is why it turns into somewhat like another montage, but we get back to another call after the death of Marty. Vinny calls his mom, and he turns the phone booth into a house of lies.
House of Lies.
That he's like, yeah, Mom, everyone loves my film. Why don't you believe me?
Why don't you believe me?
He cries. He's such a nerd.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm making a film with Jana Bates. We love each other.
Yeah, she's doing great. Everyone loves us. And he even does the, hang on a sec, Mom. I'll be right there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
Jana ends up walking past Marty, and Vinny's like, I gotta go. Because Jana's on her way to do an interview. Right? Or it's
I
like
thought it was a press conference.
It seemed like a press junket of some sort.
It
She's
is.
talking about her movie, but it's a crowd of reporters.
Yes.
Press conference, yeah.
I thought there was some good commentary here.
Talking about the effect of violence in movies on culture. Is she worried about fanatics? Meanwhile, the audio of her talking about it is overlaid with Vinny projecting her image on the wall.
Yes.
He's like caressing her butt in the picture, the still
rubbing his
rubbing
boobs.
rubbing up. Yeah.
Is it
and
weird
so
that I thought his boobs were female boobs?
he's all like, yeah, he's all loving it, and they mentioned the Hinckley Reagan thing, John Lennon's murder. These guys who take it a little too far. Isn't she worried about it? She's like, no, I don't.
Real
think
life is more violent.
Real life is more violent. Yeah, people watch the news, and that's more violent.
Yeah.
I think anybody who watches movies knows the difference between reality and fiction. And
Yep.
It's like, no,
Unfortunately not.
I'm sorry, Jenna. There's disturbed people out there,
Yes, there are.
unfortunately.
That's what's weird.
And they
man. There are
don't know
some
the
weird
difference.
Just like things that you find online, like, I mean, I'm not joking around here. I know we do joke a lot here on Slash U, but like healthy fetishes, I guess, are fine. But like when there's some weird stuff out there, to me, that makes me think that it's being catered to, and we don't do enough for mental.
Yeah.
Mental. I don't even know how to fucking talk right now, but it's just mental health is real health, and it's just there. Like you said, there are some fucking weird people out there.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, your heart can have problems, your liver, your
Yep.
kidneys, those can all have problems. So can your brain.
Yeah, you break an arm, you go to a doctor. When you break your mind, you go to a doctor too.
Yeah. And the brain's the only thing that's not going to tell you it's having a problem.
Yeah.
Because it's your brain.
Yeah.
It's not like you can, talk to yourself. Well, you can. It's just, when you answer yourself, that's a problem. I mean,
If anybody ever
the
needs
brain's
an
the
ear,
only
Slash U
organ.
is here for
The
it.
brain's the only organ that named itself. Whoa.
What about the penis?
No, the brain named that too.
Did the brain name everything?
Yeah, the brain named everything. Some scientist used his brain and said,
That sounds like the song for a band that's.
what are we going to call this wrinkly thing that's inside
Riviera
of people's
boobs.
heads? And the brain said,
The brain named everything.
call it the brain. Yeah.
Call it the microphone.
Yeah.
Robin Leach is in this scene from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous.
Which scene?
In this scene where the reporters in the junket,
Really?
he asked her a question.
Oh, he
You
did?
remember Robin Leach, the
I
life
do.
of the rich? Yeah,
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
yeah, he's in this scene. He's a young Robin Leach, obviously, 1981. But yeah, you definitely can tell him. So
Then it was,
I did make a comment about Vinny boobs, how I like them. I thought it was weird that when he was dancing in front of that still of Jenna, that when he's rubbing his boobs, I'm like, he's got nice boobs.
What's better, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or MTV Cribs? It's the same show.
No, it's not. MTV Cribs was fake.
It was?
Yeah, you didn't
I
hear
thought it was literally their houses.
Nope, they would set people up. They
Oh,
try to
no.
give Redman a house, and he's like, "No, this is where I live. I live in an apartment. I'm never home." So he filmed his.
No shit.
They were gonna set him. Yeah, like there's a lot. Aaron Carter didn't. It wasn't his house. Like, it was,
Oh, man.
yeah, look it up. It's interesting.
So the Robin Leach version's better, obviously. I still like Exhibit pimping my ride. Man, I got transmission problems and I need 3 new tires. We're going to put an aquarium in the trunk.
I read backstories about that too, much like Bar Rescue, like how these people's cars just were became. I mean, they were unrealistically not drivable, and then
Right.
you have aquarium in your car. Or
I wouldn't give you
like
insurance.
a DJ booth. Yeah,
no, that's a huge distraction. You're going to get in an accident. I'm going to make you pay a $5,000 deductible. Sorry.
it was a good premises.
Yeah.
It was a fun premises to see what they did with cars, but anyway, back to the movie.
Back to the movie.
After
Come on, Nick,
we
getting
cut
off
to
track.
after Vinny's boobs,
Yeah.
we cut to a French bar where baby burlesque is happening. I call it baby burlesque, Andy, because in this unique crowd of men and women, there is a lady dressed. To me, she's dressed as a little girl. And
The entertainer. Yeah.
the entertainer, yes, and so she's moving around. And Vinny's watching her, Andy, and he's thinking of Jenna as he's watching this lady burlesque and see her tops.
He's thinking of those 4 ladies on the beach,
Yeah,
too.
thinking about them like, you come and dance with us in the sea and sees our boobies. And so finally, Andy, he loses his mind. He jumps up on the woman, calling her Jenna, the
and
French
starts
entertainer.
making out with her.
Yeah, trying to dry hump her.
Yeah,
And his grandma pants.
quickly pull him off,
Yeah.
and he starts yelling, "But Jenna, I love you!" So he's obviously sexually frustrated.
And now we have...
He goes to see a movie.
Yeah. Let's see another movie then.
What's anyone do? When,
After this scene, there's more radio news, and they're talking about 2 people missing. Now, 2 Hollywood elite, Bret Bates and Martin Bernstein, are missing from the Cannes Film Festival. What to do. And that's what's fun. So as that radio says, Andy brought up a good point. He does go to watch a weird movie made by Stanley Klein. It's about an old lady. The opening scene is just a guy dressed like a greaser, like a John Travolta from Grease. And he's walking, an old lady...
pulls out his eye.
Stabs him. He falls down, pulls out his eye, plays with it, then cuts out his heart.
Yeah.
And that's the opening of the film. Like, I'm not saying I'm fucking God's gift to filmmaking.
That's how you start the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like...
You got to get him in with something strong. But Vinny chokes onto some of his popcorn and leaves. And he coughs it up, and he bumps into Stanley, and he's like, "You're Stanley Klein, the director." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm on my way to the screening. Why aren't you at my screening?" And Vinny's just like, "I was there. Your movie's disgusting."
Yeah, accusing him of horrific cinematic themes.
Horrific.
Yeah.
He really lays into Stanley and just says, like, "You'll get yours," and that's that.
Yeah, you're so again setting up that maybe he's next and look out. So the following day, Martin's dismembered body was discovered.
Right.
And this is making the community in the French Riviera starting to freak out a little bit, Andy. And Stanley Klein's girlfriend, actress...
Oh, is it girlfriend? Oh, I thought it was his client.
No, it's his girlfriend.
Right, he's not an agent. He's not an agent. Yeah,
Stanley's the director, and he wanted to take her
This is Susan Benton.
Yeah, wants to head back to the States for
let's get
obvious
outta here.
reasons. But he says, I think he has something, special planned for her.
Yeah.
So stay the night, and I'll get you out of here in the morning.
Right.
I have something special for you.
That's
it rhymes with meanness.
We're gonna climb up on this. It rhymes with cock tower. I'm sorry. It's a clock tower. Shit. They botched that. That's what they do that night. They go up to the clock tower.
Yeah, so he takes...
When they got there, Nick, and they show she looks way up and it's just a giant ass clock tower, I was like, somebody's falling off this clock tower.
Yeah. Well, I thought, Andy, when they came up, he pulled out a knife, and I'm like, this guy's kind of creeping me out.
He was creeping me out.
Because I was like, maybe he's trying to get rid of her.
They get up to near the top and sit on a bench, and he pulls out a knife, and I was like, what is he doing? And she's like, what are you doing, Stanley? He's like, oh, I'm gonna carve our initials in this.
Like when we were kids.
Yeah, like when you're kids. Yeah, like SK, Heart, SB, Susan Benton. And she he's like, turn around real quick, and then you gotta come find me. And he runs away, like, hee, come find me. Yeah, I'm gonna frolic in the bushes, and you gotta find me. Like, he's being flirty but creepy. She's not having it. She's like, I don't want to be here, Stanley. Let's get out of here. And she chases him. He's hiding in the shadows. And
with a knife, holding his knife, saying, come find me.
Come find me.
I'm like, is he gonna fucking kill her?
I don't know, but somebody reaches out of the shadows and stabs Stanley and kills him. And then when Susan gets to the top of the tower,
there's his body.
She
thinks he's joking around.
Uncovers it, and he's stabbed in the heart. And she's like, ah!
And when I saw the gun pulled, I was like, a gun kill? But it was pretty rad.
Somebody shoots her in the back of the head, and she falls off the tower.
Yeah, it was funny because you could definitely tell it's a dummy falling. Because
but it's...
I just thought it was funny because it's... I know for that time it's great. Like, I thought that the blood in the back of the head looked good.
Yeah.
1981.
But it's trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma does a great job with those practical effects.
But she falls down, so 2 more...
I do love the payoff, though. If you're going to go to a really high building like this, someone needs to fall off of it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't wait. Well, otherwise, why do it here? Why? But you have to have somebody falling or jumping or getting pushed.
She was dead, though, when she fell.
That's true, but you still need someone to fall. Otherwise, why do it here?
It was
Just
a
go
fun
to a park.
You got to really think, too. This movie's like an hour, 27 minutes. It's under an hour and a half. It's a fun watch. I mean, it kept me interested the first watch all the way through.
Meanwhile,
Vinny's mom is all... he's of course, Vinny's
calls his mom, lies about how it's going great.
She's like, I'm reading about Jana, but I read nothing about you. You're not really doing anything, are you, Vinny? And he starts crying again, nerd. Such a nerd. So he hallucinates another dream of him being a loser and being laughed at by all the Hollywood types that are dying at Cannes.
Yeah.
He's like, you know,
We got Marty, we got Stanley.
they're all
we got-
laughing at him. These
laughing at him.
no-name
You're
people.
a loser.
Yeah.
You don't have grace.
But I
Vinny.
love it how Vinny's like, Vinny's grandmother is like, yeah, I'm reading about Jenna all over the news, but nothing about you, Vinny. Are you really there to make a move? Mom, I'm really fucking doing something. Why don't you believe me, Mom?
Why won't you believe me, Mom?
Fucking dork. A heart.
45-year-old loser.
No.
Poor guy.
After the phone call, cut to a film frame of Jenna, and a heart is scratched around her image. And then this is kind of like what I have it set up. Later that night, Andy, Vinny is crawling on the.
Oh, Vinny turns into Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and he's able to creep along on the outside of Jana's hotel room.
Yes, Jana is
which
bathing.
Is not on the first floor.
Yeah.
And he's able to like creep along, like scooch along the roof or something.
With a bottle of champagne.
Like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he's able to like land on her balcony and break into her hotel room. What's this? Hold it right on the tip. Yeah.
This is the bathroom scene.
So she's taking a bath.
Yeah.
And Vinny's sneaking in.
Isn't that good? What happened to this music?
It's a good song. Yeah.
From the high.
So he thinks in his mind, this is a good idea. I'm going to sneak in on her while she's bathing. I'm going to talk to her about my movie, and she's going to fall in love with it. She's going to want to do the movie. She's going to love me. In his mind, this is all good. Nothing can go wrong here. This is what I'm going to do.
That makes sense to me because
Talk
we've
about
seen
delusion, man.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been seeing what's going through his mind throughout the film. So
he brings her a bottle of champagne. He wants to talk about his film.
Yep.
She's obviously not having it. Get the hell out of here. Who are you? What are you doing? He's got his little bow tie. She tries to kick him out. He has a little freak out, cries, and he smashes the bottle of champagne. And then he holds the smashed bottle by the neck up to her threateningly. You think, holy shit, is he going to cut her throat with this bottle of champagne?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, this is something we need to address in this film, Andy. I mean, he is setting himself up to be this mad serial killer.
Yeah. But
and then a doorbell rings.
The doorbell rings, and he's
Who's
like,
there? What's going on?
Who's there? What's going on? And Jenna uses.
I cracked up.
Jenna uses that
run away.
That brief distraction to push him and run away, and she gets away, and she runs past the. She runs past the messenger guy and out the door, and. There's a beautifully choreographed scene of her, missing the elevator, so she runs on the stairs, and they're synchronized as they run down the stairwell. Yeah. She's one floor below him. They're running exactly in they're synchronized.
Yeah,
which is a cool shot.
It's focus up shot of the staircase.
But it goes back to something we've pointed out so much.
Is anybody there?
There's nobody else in this hotel as she's screaming bloody murder. Yeah. Help me! He's trying to kill me. No one comes out of any room.
Finally gets out to the street and runs down what I think is 3 blocks.
There's a huge crowd of people.
And
it's Jana Bates.
Yeah.
It must be a publicity stunt.
She's knocking on door. Help me. And people in the car are just waving.
They think it's her hyping her movie.
I feel like people would run up to her for autographs, or they would say rad.
Yeah.
But finally she gets to a stage where her boy toy Alan is waiting, and they're like, "Where's Jenna?" She runs up, and they're like Andy said, students, they think this is all a publicity stunt.
Right. Meanwhile, Vinny got distracted by all the people clapping, thinking it was a stunt. Vinny stopped because he's not used to the limelight, and he's like, "Oh," and he smiles, and he's like, takes a bow, and everybody's clapping. He gets up in his own head with a little panic attack, and everyone's applause turns into synchronized clapping.
Yeah.
And he takes it the wrong way. He starts freaking out because he thinks he's a fraud. Obviously, and imposter syndrome or something.
I loved it when she was running and there was text, and he went, "God damn, that's Jana Bates."
Yeah, the country boy, our cowboy. That's Jana Bates. But Vinny has a little freak out with everyone clapping him. She runs all the way to Alan at the red carpet event for her. Yeah. They end up going off back to the hotel, and Alan takes her back to bed. Vinny follows. But Alan's just like, we're going to go to my friend Jonathan's castle. It's up in the country. Jonathan, I think, is a musician. He was shooting a rock video.
Yeah.
That's what I gathered. It's not really that important.
He's
but
a musician that is staying in a chateau with other people.
yeah,
They're all
it's
about to
big
take
castle out in the country.
You guys can stay here. I have security.
Right.
I'll send my security
Right.
down there. So
they take Alan takes Jana up
to
there,
the
but
big
Vinny
chateau.
follows.
Yep. They want to get rid of the riffraff. But what's good about this though is Andy is that Vinny, while he's kind of perusing around the chateau, because he did follow Alan and Jenna.
Yes.
He finds the room where he wants to shoot the last scene of his movie.
He's like, this is perfect, and the security guards hear him.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah, there
part
you go.
was a little strange. The security guys are like, what's that? And they end up chasing Vinny as he runs away. They're shooting at him. Like, he's got a gun. I don't know how, but I think he's carrying his camera, but they're like, he's got a gun. And they start shooting. So these guys are obviously ex-cops, right? And he'll dig.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a gun. So blam. They end up shooting Jonathan, like the rock star guy.
I never saw this.
No, Vinny like runs past him, like bumps into him and keeps running. And these security guards like shoot blam, and then they
you think
stop.
they killed him?
And there's a really quick still frame of Jonathan laying there with a bullet hole in his head. He's
I
dead.
can't believe I did not. I watched this movie twice.
And the next day, Jana is saying to Alan in the car, like, "Why are we leaving so fast? Why we didn't even say goodbye?" And Alan's just like, "Don't worry about it. We got to get out of here." Like, that's that.
Wow. I can't believe I watched this, and I feel like no one. If I was listening to this, I would be
Right.
enthralled.
And Alan reveals that that he hired a body double for tonight.
Yep.
So there's the award ceremony they're going to tonight. I hired someone who looks just like you. You're going to be all safe. There's going to be extra security.
She
and
was
police
actually in the very beginning of the movie, the body
saying,
double. Yeah, I want to be your body
she had
double.
a sign that said, "I want to be your body double." That girl.
To distract the killer.
In my opinion, doesn't look like Jenna very much at all, but whatever, suspension of disbelief. Jana, you're going to wait backstage with your assistant lady, and Alan's going to be in the crowd with the body double. So that's what they do. They get to the award ceremony, but Vinny, smart guy, he has dressed up as one of the security guys.
A cop, I thought.
A cop, yeah.
Yeah.
What he does is they show him in his hotel room. He's writing a letter
Yep.
to his mom. "I found the perfect castle for my movie. You're going to be so proud of me, yada, yada." And he puts it in his pocket, and he goes off to the award ceremony.
Yeah, because his idea is to take Jenna back to the film, the very last scene of his movie. The movie is called, Andy, The Loves of Dracula.
Yeah, so it's a vampire movie. Cool.
So right then I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
he's not filming a Dracula movie. What was he filming this whole time?
I don't
Obviously
know.
he had a camera. This is the part of both times I watched this movie, Mr. Damos, that I went, what the fuck's going on?
This is you scratching your head going,
The name of
things
this
that make you go,
dumbass film, The Loves of Dracula, and again, I thought something was different. He takes Jenna to the castle, films the very last scene where it looks like he's killing her, like with a stake.
He chloroforms her
Yeah.
and steals her. Yeah.
But he gets her to the chateau.
Which he set up, dude. It's got thousands of candles all over the place. He's got all the set pieces dressed up. Like, when did he do this?
And obviously he's got sound now because he's speaking a dialogue. He's obviously got a script written.
When did he do all this?
I don't fucking know.
Psychos, man. They can. Maybe he did a timeout like Zach Morris and stopped time, and he was able to do timeout, and he was able to set it all up. Time in.
That would have played a little bit better than what's happening. Because Jenna does wake up after the scene, because the scene, he's like Dracula, so he's giving her eternal life.
He hammers a stake into
and
her heart.
blood.
Yeah. Special effects.
Yeah, and then she kind of wakes up, and it's just kind of set up. So he calls out and says, "Hey, Jenna,
He
thanks.
says,
My film's going to be amazing."
Yep, you were terrific. I'm sorry I made you. I couldn't have done it without you. And he says, "I'm sorry, really sorry about making you feel uncomfortable. Maybe I can get you a glass of water." And just then, Bret Bates appears out of the shadows.
Yes, Bret Bates. Remember, students,
guy.
the first guy.
He wasn't dead.
Twists and turns.
He
It's our
wasn't
director.
dead.
He's making a snuff film. I don't know what he's doing.
Bret Bates has a gun. He reveals that apparently all the murders were his doing.
Yeah.
And that he has no competition now, and he's about to become this madman's last victim, and the madman's going to commit suicide. So Bret's been behind all the death. Vinny is a scapegoat. So help me understand, Nick. Bret Bates had this idea the whole time. I'm going to kill Marty. I'm going to kill Stanley. And now he wants to kill Jenna and probably Alan at some point. But he I don't know what his plan was, but then all of a sudden he realized Vinny was stalking
That's
her, and
exactly.
he said, "I'm going to use Vinny
He
as
said
part
it
of
was.
my plan."
He said it was just like a bonus. Like
It was
now
a bonus.
Yeah, now I can.
I just don't know what his original plan was.
Use this fuck for a
Yeah.
scapegoat as being the one to kill him, and how it's going to be tough to get Alan after everyone else is dead.
Well, what happens is Vinny's just like, "You're not gonna hurt her," and Vinny like throws his Dracula cape on Bret, and he's like, "Jana, run!" And Vinny runs. Jana doesn't run. He just tosses the cape. He kind of pushes Bret. Jana, run! And his plan is to just run away, but Jana's too dumb to run. Bret takes Jana outside, holding her hostage, trying to coax Vinny back out. Like, get back out here, Vinny, so I can blow you away and blame this all on you. Vinny blinds Bret briefly with a motorcycle headlight.
Yep.
He turns it on. It's in the garage. It sort of shocks him, blinds him, and he runs up with a chainsaw.
Leatherface
And he cuts Bret apart. Cuts off his arm, slashes him, cuts off his head.
cuts off his head. Yeah, the last scene is his head dropping off and him falling, and then
in his mind, Vinny gets his Oscar.
yes,
Yeah.
because then he screams like yeah, because you hear sirens coming. It's like he's. But this is then
cops
it cuts.
show up.
Then it cuts to.
It's been a movie.
It's been a movie directed by
Vinny Durand.
Vinny Durand, and hey,
he's
mom,
there
what do you think?
Watching it with his mom.
Yeah. So was this whole thing a movie?
I don't know, because his mom's like,
Let's
"I'm
get hot."
very proud of you, Vinny," you
Yeah.
know, and he starts, "Let me tell you about my next film," and she cuts him off, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "Do you got a joint?" The old lady wants to smoke a J.
So they smoke a joint and roll credits.
Roll credits.
I did not get the end. The last 10 minutes I did not get.
It's probably just a little meta. I don't know, just started stepping out of itself and
So
being
meta.
funny. Yeah.
On a scale of 3 boobs walking and enjoying the French Riviera beachside to 9 boobs enjoying the French Riviera beachside, what would you give this movie?
I love that our scale is an odd number of boobs to an odd number of boobs.
That's what-
3 to 9. I'd probably give it
I'm gonna give it 6 boobs.
I'm gonna give it 6 too. That's just what I was gonna say. I mean,
I just didn't get the end. I understand
Yeah.
that I could see Bret being like setting it up and being like, I want to make a snuff film. I want to make a real horror film. Obviously, he makes horror films. I want to make a horror film where people are really dying. I'm gonna blow people's brains. I'm gonna blow people's minds with this movie because, like, and I just don't know. But wouldn't I don't know. I'm trying to keep this format a little shorter, but I could sit here and just go like this for another 10 minutes.
I
What?
think I do like the idea that it was.
What?
I do like the idea that Vinny is just a crazy guy. He was actually not a danger. You know, that he was honestly just a super fan and a little
Fanatic.
little delusional, and that Bret was behind all of the actual death. I do like that. It's a cool twist. But I also don't understand what Bret's original plan was.
And I don't understand what they're watching at the end. And
I
whatever
don't-
happened to the lovers of Dracula?
I just don't get. I
Lovers
just don't
of
get how
Dracula.
Bret staged his death with special effects, and then everybody else was going to die, and then Bret was going to be like, "Hey, I'm okay." Like
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to driving my taxi.
before Vinny came along to be his scapegoat. What was he going to do? Like, what was he gonna do? Just be like, "Oh yeah, I just went off over snorting cocaine in a hotel for the last week." And what? Everybody's dead? Huh? What happened? Well, I'm still alive, so I guess everything's cool. Was that the plan the whole time? I just,
Oh shit.
yeah. So I don't know. You want to do a kill count and then talk about our next movie?
Yes, do a kill count.
Oh man. So, I didn't count any kills that we saw that were part of a movie that they were watching within this movie. Is that fair?
Yes, I agree.
All right. So the actual, death within the main story of this movie. We had Marty Bernstein, axed to death in the back. Stanley Klein, he was stabbed on top of that clock tower, followed by Susan Benton. She was, shot in the back of the head and fell off the big clock tower. Followed by Jonathan, the musician, shot accidentally by his own security. Little friendly fire. Just a quick frame of him dead on the ground. And then Bret Bates, who thought he was dead at the original start of the movie, the first kill, but he wasn't. That was a fake out. He ended up dying at the end at the hands of Vinny, defending Jana Bates with the chainsaw. So I thought that one was pretty cool. And
I did too.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deaths for Fanatic, the last horror film.
So, I thought, you know how we like to do movies that, star people Remember, Doom Asylum had Charlotte from Sex and the City where I thought I was just like, wow, well, we were. And then we did, we did The Burning that had Jason Alexander. We've done movies that have had people. Well, I found one with Tom Hanks. Well, I should say Jody found one with Tom Hanks.
Yes, I've heard of this one. So this one's from 1980.
He Knows You're Alone.
1 hour, 34 minutes.
It's available on Amazon. Why don't you read it up?
Yeah.
I think we just go for it.
A young bride-to-be is being stalked upon... What? That's weird. Is being stalked upon by a serial killer in Staten Island. She gets help from a former lover, but will they manage to escape? That's pretty cool. Tom Hanks is in this, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of stoked on it. I think it's 1980. I think it's kind of cool that we're kind of going back to that 80s kind of vibe. Like you see.
There's some other stars who've been in other things too. As I scroll through the cast list, so He Knows You're Alone. Your YOU''RE.
They're looking like a lot of people in here.
He Knows You Are Alone.
Steve James is in this. He plays just his credit is young man.
Oh wow. We were talking last weekend about how many big stars got a start in horror slasher movies, and we went down that road about Maureen McCormick and George Clooney, and Brad Pitt's been in stuff. I mean, lots of people have done cheesy, campy, somewhat forgotten slasher. It's like, oh shit, they were in that. So He Knows You're Alone for next week.
Yeah, it stars Don Scardino, who is actually known for 30 Rock. Like, I guess he was a producer or director on 30 Rock. So, it's kind of cool. Like, a lot of these people owe so much to horror movies.
Yeah.
And now I just hate to forget them. So, hey, not bad.
Not bad. Well,
we're trying to do format real quick, everyone.
Well, yeah, we're trying to zip these up in about an hour. We had so much fun with the slasher bracket and how those were short and sweet and to the point. We're trying to do that here. But I got to tell you, if we ever get a movie that's like really complex, it might be a little longer than an hour. But
see, that's why I try to stay away from those, because then it gets all Inception-y.
Yeah.
And people are like, what the fuck?
We still had fun. And we like to go on our tangents every now and then.
Bubes.
Talk about the conjoined twins and their love life.
That is still so. I could sit and talk about that.
It's hard to imagine.
We could have conjoined twins.
So far, you only have one mind and your one body. Until someday when you split. But but you won't. I won't. We're fine. You know what I'm saying. But to have two consciousnesses in one body has got to be super freaky.
I couldn't imagine, like, let's say, like, I'm attached to you and you're like, okay, I'm going to play volleyball. I'm going to go have, I'm going to have relations. It'd just be weird.
It would be so weird.
But I guess if we were brothers and we knew each other since day one and we just kind of grew up, I'd be like, yeah, go.
No other.
I think I would root you on.
But if I was the one that would. Like, you have no basis of comparison. If that was the way it always was, then no other way.
Okay, I know we're going to cut soon, but
yeah.
There's two people.
Yeah.
And she can feel the orgasm. And
yeah.
why can't her sister be like, enjoy it? Why can't the guy say, I married both of them? Like, why can't she sit there and have happiness too? And again, if she does fall in love, will she get the same happiness? Because then is it going to be like, is that guy going to be like, someone's banging my wife?
That's the other thing to contend with. If the other conjoined twin falls in love with a separate man and decides to marry him,
and he's hung like a fucking mule.
Yeah, you have 4 people and 3 bodies, and
God, see, I want to. And I don't mean any. Just a side note, disclaimer: no disrespect for this, just honest questions.
Yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around, but you know what? This is fun to think about because of all the other bullshit in the world is so much worse. So I'm happy to laugh with you, happy to cry with you, and cover fun movies here at /U with you.
Touch my boobs.
So
/U_podcast
yes.
on Instagram, murder_movie_cabin on Instagram, /U podcast at gmail.com if you want to get in touch, /U podcast.com.
Check out the buy stuff page.
We got to get ready for our
We're doing Horror Fiesta in September.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Check out He Knows You're Alone for next week. And yeah, until next time, class dismissed.
See ya!